And here we go. We live?
We're live.
There we go. Cassie Lewis producing
Yep.
On
Right
the-
over here.
on the ones and twos. I'm excited. Welcome back, my friends. This is the first edition of the Livin in San Diego podcast, episode 1. But if you've been with us in the past, this is our third rendition of this show, our fourth rendition of podcasts in total. We'll get into all that, but this is going to start at episode 224 because it's an extension of North County Now. I almost forgot the name of our previous podcast. So anyways, today we're just going to jump in. We're going to go over what we're doing in this podcast, what we're thinking, a little bit of Cassie. I got 5 questions for Cassie, get you some insight into him. We got some intro music we got to show you guys. Pretty hot jams. Cassie made it by himself, produced it. But yeah, why are we relaunching? What's changing? What's staying? What's the vibe? All that kind of stuff. And how you guys could get involved. Because this is going to be not interactive, but we're going to have guests on. It's going to be fun. Sometimes it's just us. Sometimes we're having people on. Looking forward to it.
Same
You
here.
looking forward to it?
I'm super looking forward to it.
This
It's
is
gonna be fun.
This has been a work in progress. So let's just go back to our original podcast. Our original was Coastal Craft, right? That was like before we did North County News.
Correct.
So we started Coastal Craft back in the day. This gal came into our office. And by the way, let's give ourselves an intro. I'm Chris Erickson. We got Cassidy Lewis over there. Say what's up.
What's up?
And we're doing it a little different. We got better mics, whatever. We'll get into all that. But back in the day, so when we were working in Seacoast, local real estate company right here, a gal came in talking about local brand, building like a local community. One of the things that they were doing, I think it was Love Livermore, right? That was her. I don't know if they even have a podcast. They had like a community, a group, that kind of thing.
Correct.
And so we were like, okay, cool. Let's do this. Let's make a podcast. And this is before we had done YouTube. This is before we had done, a little bit of Instagram, a little bit of Facebook, that kind of stuff. But it was nothing like we've had years to do that now. So I remember our first time even filming the intro, like the promo for Coastal Craft. Do you remember doing that?
Yeah.
We were on the side next to where Los Tacos is over in Encinitas. Brewer's Tap Room's there now. The donut place changed names. I forget its name. But anyways, there's just a blank wall over there. We're like, cool, that's our vibe. Nice big wood wall. Let's rock that. We had my Android phone at the time. We had a tripod from Amazon that barely stood up. We figured out how to we had a mic splitter going into 2 mics, lavalier mics that were like, $10 on Amazon, right?
Yeah. It was definitely bare bones and just trying to figure out how to put something on video.
Yeah. And the promo, like, hey, we're doing Coastal Craft, this is where we had a few people on and stuff. It took probably about an hour to film that part that was like 60 seconds. Now we could pop out like a half-hour video in like 40 minutes, right?
Yeah.
It's got a little better.
Yeah, we've improved a little, not just the technology side, which we're looking at, a couple of cameras, switchboards, all of this stuff, headphones, microphones, where before it was basic.
It was basic.
Super basic.
Yeah. So we did 10 episodes of that. We had some cool people on. We had, was he the barbecue dude?
Yes.
Ron, awesome dude. I don't even know if he's still doing barbecue, but he was fed us like we did it at Henneberry over in Vista. So we were sipping on some old fashions, still same kind of setup at that point. We just had 3 mics going at this point. We had our buddy Josh on. Shout out to Joshua. We did in the avocado groves up there. And I remember halfway through, since the phone was in the sun, it got too hot, overheated. We had to I don't know where we started, where we stopped. Who else did we have on?
We had Travis, who was at Hello. No, he was with his own company for a while, but now he's over at Brewer's Tap Room. He's cleaning lines, I think, or something. His company did that.
Yep, cleaning the keg lines for breweries around.
Yep.
Breweries, tap rooms, restaurants, etc.
Yeah. We probably had Noah, I'm guessing.
Yep.
Over at Virgin now, but I think he was at Stone the first time we did one of those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did definitely do one at Stone. So it was all about Coastal Craft. Back to my pops used to clean lines. That was like his thing. So he's always like, if there's an old beer line, He's like, "Ooh, yeah, they haven't cleaned these lines in a while." He could taste it in the beer. It's always Coors Light, but nonetheless, maybe the new ones like IPAs cover it a little bit, but you can't
Probably, yeah.
higher ABV. It cuts it a little bit. Anyways, Coastal Craft was awesome. In this show, we're going to still have people on. We're going to have, like I said, Cassidy, me. We're going to have local people on. We're going to have the whole point is I love San Diego. Cassidy loves San Diego. Share San Diego stories. Share what's going on around town. Now, yes, we are in the real estate game, but it's not going to be like our last rendition of this. We had a whole real estate corner, real estate minute. We're not going to do that as much this time. We'll do a little CTA at the beginning, but other than that, it's not really a real estate podcast. Even my buddy Eddie, he still thinks that one was a real estate podcast. I was like, no, we talked about it it was the real estate minute. It ended up being like 5 minutes, but
yeah, we'll have less than that.
Less than that. We're going to have people on. We have a good list of people going, but if you guys have anybody out there, maybe it's you, maybe it's somebody you know, got a business, got a cool story. We just want stories. This is what we're looking for. Even if their business, yeah, we'll talk about their business. We'll promote their business, but we really want to tell like stories. There's a few that I got going in my head of like themes and camping and, kind of Marco growing up, or not growing up, but having his business in downtown Encinitas for the last 20 years, talk about that, like all that kind of stuff. So if we get him on, those are just ideas. We haven't even asked him yet, but if you guys have somebody, hit us up. hello@livinsandiego.com. LIVIN, no G. Forget about the G. If you're listening to this, we're the G's right here. So there's no G. LIVININ, San Diego. You got it. hello@livinsandiego. Hit us up because we want to start building that. We're recording in our Encinitas studio right now.
Yep.
Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah. Until we find something else, this is our studio. I don't even know if you need to say Encinitas.
Yeah.
But at some point,
studio.
Yeah, at some point we will have a studio, so we don't have to do all this prep work. Beforehand.
Yeah. I mean, we knocked it out pretty quick. Got it up in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So. But when we're traveling, we're gonna have run into issues. I remember even our last podcast was not a video podcast, so we didn't have that. A whole new level to the game. So we're gonna have it on YouTube. It'll be on Spotify. It's gonna be on Apple, everywhere you're listening. So, but we'll also have videos. We're also gonna be starting a new Instagram account, Livin in San Diego. So we'll have that going, clips from here, but also even just things going on, new events, things happen around town, et cetera. It's not just going to be clips from the show, because we're going to start doing that as well. So after Coastal Craft, one of my things, I was like, I want to start a podcast. We had that one. We actually did video podcast for that one. We had a YouTube channel. We had everything for that.
For Craft Coast,
we were ahead of our time for that.
Coastal Craft.
Coastal Craft.
I know.
That was a cool logo too.
And we had that name before Craft Coast started too. So
they probably would have come after us now. But the next rendition, we're like, okay, we get the Coast News. It's a local newspaper right here. Let's do North County News. All right. And it was very boring. I loved it. We get to, I still read the paper. We get it here, I don't know, once a month. I forget how often they deliver it here. Once a week, once a month, whatever it might be. But maybe every other week. I don't know. I do the crossword every now and again. So anyways, taking stories out of there, stories we found online, stories of local stories. And it was cool. Have good conversations. I just listened to the very first episode, just like audio quality. Once again, it was just a phone. And maybe we had a computer set up at this time.
Possibly.
I was looking at my computer too. I'm getting rid of it. The Beast. Do you remember the Beast?
Oh, yeah.
It was about a 17-inch Dell computer.
Yeah.
It's as big as that desk you're sitting on right now. Yeah. I still have it. I'm going to get rid of it. But we might have had it plugged into a computer at this point, running it through there, just whatever. That was the next rendition. So we did North County News, and we're like, this is kind of boring. News is cool, but let's move on to the next one.
Do you remember what our big every episode we had to talk about was for North County News? We were just trying to find gimmicks at some point there, and it was names or the name of a group of animals, and we did that a bunch. You start with, I don't know, maybe we had a story that had a murder of crows or something like that, and so we kind of like started to, every episode we'd find one new interesting one where we'd like try to stump each other. So I forgot about that one until you just brought it up now.
Yeah,
But as soon as you said it, that's all I could think about.
just going through this too. I'm starting to bring back some memories too. I remember just sitting in the office in there, it was just me and you in that little room, and yeah, just had our little lapel mics on. And what else? So a murder of crows. What else we got there? I know we did like
It's been
otters.
too
We did
long.
like,
Yeah.
dude, all
A
kinds of stuff.
crash. Isn't that rhinos? Crash of rhinos.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You're the zoo guy.
Yeah. But it's been too long since we actually like actively looked them up.
Yeah,
Pod of dolphins. Those are easy. But
easy.
yeah. But we got pretty deep on some of these.
Yeah. Did we start the Kevin Bacon then, or was it the next rendition?
I think next.
Next. Okay. So we'll get into that. So we did that. I didn't even check. I should have checked how many episodes we did. At that, we didn't have episodes labeled, so I didn't know the numbers. I just know I counted them up from like once we started to get to 100, et cetera, plus then we started numbering them. So this will be 224. I thought we were up to 250, but 224 is still pretty solid. We still got our, was it 100 or was it 200 episodes?
At 100, we got a trophy, I think, from your mom.
Yep. I
And
think
then-
that's in our the shed where we film our YouTube videos.
That's right. I have it in my garage
Yep.
at my workbench. And then 200 episodes, Chelsea got us a custom beer can koozie.
Oh yeah, that's up. Yeah,
Yeah,
I still have that.
that's
It's a nice
etched
one. It's
with
like a Yeti.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I know. I used it the other day. I can't remember why, but I busted it out. And it's like, oh, sweet, perfect timing. We're gonna start this back up.
Nice. It should. I guess it won't be till probably next year. So we're in March right now. Counting 75 episodes from here, will be early next year for 300. So that'll be our next big milestone.
Big trophy.
Big trophy. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe my mom and Chelsea can combine forces and make
Like a
something
custom
cool.
kegerator.
There we go. We do need one for our when we do have a studio set up. Also, if you guys know of an area of somewhere to record these, that'd be awesome as well. Hit us up because we're trying to find, like Cassie said, a space where we could get this all set up. We got wires everywhere, but just somewhere so when we do have people on, we can have, okay, hey, we're meeting here. Here's the area. Instead of coming to my place or a random place, it'd be good to have a good setup. So thinking like extra office space or, I don't know, Lucadia Club potentially, or maybe up at Municipal. We got some options, some ideas, but we want to hear from you guys too. So North County News, like I said, was okay. Then we branched off. We're like, let's do a little bit different. Let's do North County Now. That kind of came into its own. We started having like segments, actually being like a real show. We had Craft Corner. We had Real Estate Minute. We had a sports section. We had what did we get into this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll still do a little bit of that. But since it is the Livin in San Diego podcast, we live in San Diego, we'll share those stories as well. Cool things we did, cool things we got into. When we were doing our prep episode for this, we're like, we need to start remembering the places that we went to, or like recall like what the names were.
Like maybe write them down.
Maybe that. Yeah. Now we got I prepped for the show, so I have my two sheets here. I didn't write any places down, but I got your questions, all that kind of thing. But that was North County Now. Got up to 223. Our last episode on that, well, our first episode of North County News was 4/20/2019.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I did not think it was that long ago. Our last episode of North County Now was August 23rd of 2023. Do you remember the title?
No chance that I remember the title, but it was probably good.
So it was right after the hurricane. Remember the hurricane came through?
Oh, yeah.
2023. And so we always had like, when I was titling them, it was like, okay, what was the story we talked about? What was like our tie in the beer that we had, and then tie in sports somehow. So this one was because the hurricane came through.
Kind of.
It was kind of like today.
Yeah.
It's kind of rained a little bit. Not much out
No.
there. Yeah. Could be the hurricane right now. Who knows? It didn't hurt. It did not hit like it was supposed to. I think some of the offshore winds we get, much worse, etc. But it's called Hurricane Smurricane. Big weekend. Do you know that beer?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Who makes it?
Coronado.
Coronado. A nice 8.0%
APA.
double IPA.
Oh, yeah. Double IPA. Yeah. It's a good
Good
one.
stuff. Yeah. Comes in there. If you get their taster, they have one with their IPAs at the one in Coronado.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was out last time I went there, but
I think that's how I started. Is that episode also maybe around? a time when I was down there and started with that because I like to start with that beer if I go down there.
It's a hefty one, man. That'll start your big weekend, but it could end it pretty quick too.
100%.
Yeah. 8%. That's tough. Then we got into so it was Hurricane Smurricane. Hurricane Smurricane. Yeah, that sounds weird. Big weekend and Kim Ha-song. So we're talking a little Ha-song Kim there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Is he on the pods anymore?
No, he's Tampa Bay.
Oh, yeah. He got hurt last year, got moved. I just read Jerks and Profar in Atlanta.
Yep.
He has a bone bruise or something. So anyways, but then I was looking back at who else is on the pods. We'll get into sports, all that stuff. We don't need to get too far off track. But now we're at Livin in San Diego. So like I said, people, stories, what's going on, keep you guys informed. It's going to be fun.
Agreed. It is going to be fun. I'm excited to get this thing started.
Yeah.
And just tell some stories. It's like you said, it's kind of the nature of what we do anyway in life as real estate agents. Not that this is a real estate podcast, but we tell stories. Like that's literally, I'll never forget sitting down and interviewing to be with Seacoast, which is where this all started. And Mike's like, tell me a story. I'm like, what? Like, what? I just tell you a random story. And he reminded me that like this business, sales in general, is about telling stories. And that's what we love listening to anyways. I mean, that's the whole point of life, right?
Yeah.
Telling stories, passing along stuff.
What story did you tell Mike?
I couldn't tell you now. I can't. I just don't. I can't remember. It's been 10 years now, almost 11 years.
Yeah.
So, I don't remember.
Yeah.
It was something good enough for him to shake my hand and let me join the crew right off the bat. So
yeah, that was a good crew.
It was.
Yeah. I interviewed with Lauren. I sat in that little front room with him. I think I wore like a mock sweater, like ill-fitting jeans coming out of my pool business. Just had definitely not a haircut. It was definitely all kind of fluffy. And he's like, cool. Yeah. You sound like you know what you're doing. I mean, I did. I had a business background, that kind of thing. But just even from there, like starting there, then I started getting into like, not suits, but like sports coats, tie. You know, I do open houses with a tie. I had ties on at one point.
Me too.
And now it's kind of what you guys see right here. Yeah. Maybe rocking this to showings. And I mean, yeah, it's a little more, we're a little further in our career.
Yeah. I think COVID also killed suits and ties, which I'm not mad at.
Mostly in San Diego. I mean, San Diego, it's been skewing away from that anyways, right? If you go to any open house, even like some agents that do a ton of business in, let's say, Cardiff, wearing Vans, some chinos, and just like a either Hawaiian shirt or like a, you know, just short sleeve button up shirt. That's the style. Chill.
Not mad at it.
No. Welcome to San Diego. So if you guys are moving to San Diego and this is the first time you're listening, when you guys go work with us, that's what we're going to be rocking.
100%.
All right. So a few things we got to get in order still. Working on our logo. Kind of had a few renditions. I mean, we have our Livin in San Diego real estate logo. That's our real estate team. That's our crew. But I want this one to be a little different. Kind of visually, it looks different. I had that in a few of the mock-ups. So that'll be dropping in the next, hopefully by the end of this week. Instagram page will be up. We were working on some intro music.
Yeah.
So we have a few. We need your guys' help.
Play our other one. We didn't play our bass one.
Oh yeah. So we'll play the bass, which is the one that came stock on this Rodecaster Pro. We'll play that. But then we'll also play, we have two kind of renditions that our friends over at our AI helpers made for us. But they need some work. But they're a good starting point.
Yeah, good start.
All right. Rock them for a little bit.
Okay.
Just play little intros. We don't want to bore them too much, but let them get a little taste of our intro musics, and we'll go 1, 2, or 3. You guys got to vote and let us know. And if you got our numbers, just text us. Mom. She was our top podcast listener last year, or 2023.
Nice. So this is the default. Hear it. No vocals in this one. Just kind of a start.
Yeah. See, I don't like the beginning too much, but then it jams in. Then you come in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a little loud. Can you turn that
I
down a
know.
little bit?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Blowing out your ears.
Still learning how to do this whole producing thing.
Yeah.
I did very little of it the first time around.
Yeah.
And second time around.
Well,
and third.
it was simple. We didn't have to do anything.
That's right.
We just push record and talk. Now we got some jobs to do.
Yep.
That's this next rendition. We're leveling up. So the microphones, hopefully they're sounding better. Like I said, we have video going, so you guys are going to be able to see this. You're going to see clips from this. We have our mics are going to, I don't even know what the Rodecaster Pro is, audio interface.
Something.
We have Blackmagic video interface to do some camera switching, which Cassie's doing live right here. Got lights set up.
Yep.
Got we upgraded this year, or was that last year, to our MacBooks?
Yeah, last year.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and I'll get to hopefully at some point use the rim shot, on here. I was so excited that was on there. So
give him a taste.
Say something funny.
I got nothing.
There you go.
Boom.
So excited to use some of these things.
Yeah, Cassie's going to be running this. Like, he listens to a lot of local talk radio or their podcast, I guess. And so who's the folks you
listen to the show on Rock 105.3.
The show. So that was, they have the show. Do they still have it on Rock 105? Or they just released it as a podcast as well?
No, so they're still on the local radio on 105.3, but they were the Mikey show.
Yeah. Then
Mikey got fired, essentially. The rest of the show stayed. They've added 2 people since then. So yeah, they're still the same show, same place they've always been.
Mm-hmm.
And they put a podcast out every day of the full episode. And then they do the P1 podcast too, which is separate, a shorter podcast.
Every day as well?
Yeah.
Oh, they're cranking it out. I guess that's their job though. So
yeah. Well, in the P1 it's only like 15 minutes long and uncensored and a little more wild.
Yeah.
And free. So
a little more wild and free. As wild as you get.
Exactly.
Our show is we're gonna cap it at like PG-13.
Yeah, that's probably a good call.
That's just kind of our vibe.
Yeah, not a whole ton of anything rated R going on in San Diego.
I don't think we're gonna. Yeah, we'll just
In
like drop like a random F-bomb. Probably stay away from that.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe we'll see.
Depends on our guests.
Yeah, I guess we won't handcuff them.
That's right.
There we go.
We'll just put ease on the episodes that are.
Well, you have to mark it, so they'll know.
Yeah.
All right, let's hit it with.
Does our other intro music have bad words? We haven't gone through it.
I don't know. Yet. We could put explicit if we have. Some of the words, I don't know. AI made it, so who knows what it said.
All right, option number 2. Yeah.
Yep. I put it into the system. I said, okay, here's our podcast, Living in San Diego. Here's what we're going to be chatting about. Here are the hosts, Cassidy and Chris. Here is kind of the style I want. And the style I went with is 90s West Coast hip hop. So it kind of hit it. It was more, I don't know which one's coming first, but one of them kind of sounds like a little bit like The Game, which was probably 2000. So it wasn't really necessarily 90s. I added in Dr. Dre in there, and they said, oh, you can't specifically put somebody's name in there because then it's, I guess, somewhat maybe copyright infringement. I don't know how they pull it. Obviously they have a bunch of songs trained in there. So anyways, roll the tape.
Let's hear it. I just want to say my kids are probably going to like these a lot since they're like big 90s hip hop fans now. So.
Nice.
All right, let's hear this. Option number 2.
Here we go.
Live from America's finest city. Hey, yo, Crash. What's the word?
Turn it down a touch.
Hey, yo. Shun, I just touched down. The 619 sound. Sand castles and sternums. Coastline like a mental asylum.
We're still trying to figure out what that means.
Cast out of a border town. Corrupt cul-de-sac kids from an alley in the field. Hip hop, just chill. If you know, then you know how we roll. Drop tops with stereo. West of the Pacific low. You live in San Diego.
There we go.
There we go. That's a good one.
Yeah. I do like the beat. Maybe we'll change a few of the songs. I mean, a few of the words. I don't know how much we can tweak it, but I think we could do anything we want there. So
yeah,
digging that one. And then third one, I like it too.
Okay, let's hear it.
I like the beats.
Let's go. Option number 3.
Yo, it's Cass and Chris. We got you in the mix.
We do.
We say goodbye to the gloominess and the rain. Bright-eyed pupils when we peep the waves. Until we get sipping our local IPA. Welcome Welcome to the city built for leisure and play.
Yeah.
Old town scene.
That's, and then it gets into who knows. It starts talking about weird stuff, but we'll get that edited, make it sound better.
Yeah, I like the well, that one had you at the local IPAs part.
Yeah.
And me too. I mean, I think that's if I was to pick, that's probably my pick now. But I don't want to sway anybody's opinions. If you like the other one, we can make it work. But as soon as it says Old Town, it just goes off the rails. So
Yeah,
we're
Old
gonna have to do
Town's
some
kind of
tweaking.
new, and then
Yeah.
it goes gas lamp is cheap too. You're like, I don't know, it's kind of expensive, and it's Old Town's probably the oldest place here in San Diego.
That's right. Exactly.
So, I don't know. We'll change those words. Nonetheless, we're getting it. I like that one too.
I like them.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. We'll have to figure out how to change the stuff, but maybe they could tweak a few things here and there and make sure we got to get the paid version or else we can't use it. So, FYI.
Okay.
All right. So the vibe, casual, conversational, chatting. We're going to be dropping it every Thursday, like we mentioned. I think that I mentioned that on my Instagram story, but nonetheless, we'll drop it every week. So stay tuned here every week, guys, for the Livin in San Diego podcast.
Sweet.
Now I got some questions for Cassidy.
Uh-oh.
We're going to dive in a little bit because in some of these episodes, we're going to do like themes. Okay, we're going to do like local camping spots because there's a bunch we've been to growing up. Not so much recently, but I mean, if you're living in San Diego and you could go an hour, 2 hours tops, and there's there's so many different camping spots.
Yeah,
And you could be out in
hundreds.
the wilderness, basically.
Yeah.
Like you think San Diego, you think suburbs, you think Carlsbads and Powways, and you start getting rural out there too. But once you get to Cuyamaca's, I know it's Cuyamaca, but we call it Cuyamaca. Get to Cuyamaca, you get to past Julian, you get out to Palomar. There's some space out there.
Even like Borrego Springs. That's
Yep.
another really cool one. Like out in the desert, not during summer months, but
Yeah.
for those spring months, there's some really cool camping out there. Yeah, you can get. I mean, a couple hours from here, you can get to a lot of different spots.
Have you ever done Joshua Tree?
I have not done Joshua Tree,
Okay.
but
Yeah. So we were just at my folks Sunday. We are talking about like a family trip. What should we do? My mom was looking up like houseboats in Lake Powell.
Mhm.
How close is that? Is that Havasu-ish? Or
I'm not positive.
I'm not either. Lake Powell. I got to find out where Lake Powell is. But anyways, looking out there, then I mentioned there's another place called, they just changed the name, but it was originally called San Diego Mountain Lodge. Have you heard of that one?
No.
It looked pretty cool.
Somebody was just talking about Vail Lake the other day, but that's not a lake you can swim in. Like where I think Lake Powell might be, or at least like boating and all that stuff.
Lake Powell's in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Havasu's in Arizona too.
So it's got to be, I think that is Havasu.
Oh, it is.
I don't know. I've been to Havasu, but
Me too, but it's been a minute.
I don't know. It looks like a big lake. Oh no, it connects to a bunch of other big lakes. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Havasu was, I think we went for spring break when I was like 13 in a motorhome. So
Yeah.
with my folks.
At Lake Powell?
Havasu.
Oh,
Whatever
Havasu,
yeah.
Yeah, I've had some fun out at Havasu. It was good times. Somebody had a boat. Somebody had a house. It was when we were younger. It's good times. Vail Lake is it's out by Temecula.
Temecula.
Yeah. Okay. See, we're learning stuff on this podcast too, but we're looking at other places. If I'm taking the wife, we're going to like glamping, something like that. We'll have a report too on, we're doing something called family camp this summer up Santa Barbara-ish. Bring the kids. Parents are going. We're all at the camp, but kids do their thing, parents do their thing, and then you guys all meet up later on. So it's kind of like they kind of have their camp, but we get our time too. Should be fun. We'll report
So
back.
do you guys have like art projects and stuff while
I hope
while
so.
they have art projects?
I don't know.
No, or like special
Margarita
adult
making.
nights?
I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know what it entails.
That sounds fun. I like that idea.
Yeah, because Julie used to go to like sleepaway camp, which we don't really have out here. Something any West Coaster, you're like, no, most people don't know about it, right?
Mhm.
But that was the thing. They went away for 8 weeks. Their parents would just ship them off for 8 weeks when they're 8, 9, 10. It's like, wow.
Yeah. We were
Enjoy
just
those
talking about-
summers.
yeah. We were just talking about that this weekend because Cam has a buddy that's doing sleepaway camp. And we asked him and he's like, no, like instantly.
What if he wanted
But
to do it?
Yeah. If he wanted to go, but like he hasn't, like when we were his age, we had done a ton of sleepovers. We had done a little bit more adventurous stuff.
Yeah.
And he's yet to do a sleepover. And so like that would be a huge jump for him. And so he was just like, absolutely not. Braden probably would say yes.
Yeah.
But Cam's not that.
How long's the buddy going away on sleepaway camp?
I think it's a week,
Yeah.
I want to say. So it's only 5, I think it's only 5 days. Or maybe you bring him Sunday and pick him up Friday or something. So it's not a super long thing.
Yeah, that's what one of our buddies did too. Yeah, it was like a week.
Yeah.
It's not an 8-week thing. You're like, bye, mom and dad. I'll see you next year.
Right.
I think they had like, not, it wasn't like prison, but they have like one call, you know, like you get your one call out. They get to visit once. So, I don't know, but you're on your own, dude.
Yeah. I did them a couple times. I was in Boy Scouts. So I did Boy Scout camps for a handful of summers. So we did Catalina, which was like I think 2 weeks long, something like that. And then we did some other, I don't even remember where they were, but somewhere in California.
Yeah.
Not too far away. And my brother did, what's the Dude Ranch one that was super popular?
From the movie City Slickers?
No. No, it was it was like that. It was like, I can't remember what it was called, but you literally ride horses and deal with all that stuff.
Local or somewhat local?
Yeah, somewhere in San Diego.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that where Blink-182 came up with the song of that name?
I don't think so.
The name of that song?
I'm not sure, but I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't know. I've never heard of the Dude Ranch in San Diego.
Well, it's not called that. It's called something else. Chelsea would be yelling. If she's listening right now, she's yelling at the radio.
She'll write in.
She knows.
She'll write in.
Yep.
All right. Cassidy questions. Here we go. If you could live in any San Diego neighborhood besides where you are now, where would it be and why?
I'd probably choose Cardiff. I was just,
I
you knew I was going to say
could-
that. You could have guessed
I
that.
could have answered these for you.
I also really love Livin. I grew up there, but like, especially as a kid, I didn't like it because I was way far away from friends and all that. But now I would love to be out there. But I like Cardiff, just the vibe. I like the community part of it. I like it's a cool little beach town. If it was walkable if I could afford to live walkable down to the beach and just walk the beach every morning, it'd be rad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty easy answer.
You doing walking district, composer district? You doing Poinsettia Heights? You doing that big neighborhood? It's got huge houses right off Santa Fe. It's got like 6 houses, the big white ones with like half-acre lots.
If I could just choose,
Yeah.
like if
Yeah.
money was no object,
Yeah, money is no object.
I'd say walking district. Like it
Yeah.
would be rad to be able to walk down to, Fish 101 or walk down to the beach. And I'd say that's probably my first choice.
Yeah, I'd probably rock composer district. Just
Why?
a little more spread out. You don't have like the house. Parking is probably not as much of an issue.
Yeah.
The only downside is there's only the Chesterfield crossing. So like if you're going to the beach, that's where you're going, right? You have to go down there. Where a walking district is like right there.
Straight there. Yeah, straight shot.
All right. What's your go-to San Diego restaurant? What are you ordering? Let me see. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 6. That one was supposed to be cut, but hey, we asked it.
This
so,
one?
Yeah.
Okay. My go-to, I probably have to say Fidel's is my go-to.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're supposed to have a full episode on Tony Jacol
We are.
versus Fidel's.
We are. I've been to
But-
both now, so.
Oh yeah. But I'd say that's my go-to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get into Tony's versus Fidel's real quick.
Yeah.
So a few weekends ago, we went to Tony's. I think it was this last weekend we went to Fidel's.
Mm-hmm.
We told the kids they're going to have to vote. I'm not telling you what they chose, but I'm not telling you what type of family you are. It might go to a fisticuffs, but have you ever been to Tony's?
I have been to Tony's a million years ago. Yeah. It's just
One time? And then
no,
fired it?
a couple times because we had friends that they were Tony's people.
Yeah.
And so we'd switch. So we'd go, but we'd usually do Tony's, or we'd go up to Carlsbad for when that was Fidel's.
Norte.
Yeah, Norte now.
Okay. Yeah, I've been to Norte a bunch of times, but the ones right next to each other. I've never been to that Fidel's, except we went to the Cantina. I think we were talking about it a little bit on our last pod, but went to the Cantina after a horse race, after the Del Mar racetrack, and it was packed. So we said, nah. But just walking through there, I was just like, if they built this place today, there's no way they'd pass a single code inspection. There's like, you walk into the Cantina and then it's like, okay, go downstairs to get seated, or you go around. So we went down and like a few tripping hazards, and then like the roof is small, and then you walk up and it's like a sloped floor. It's just like, I love it. I mean, I like that style. I kind of like that old vibe. It was pretty rad, but yeah, it was, the debate continues, I guess.
Always the debate will continue.
All right. I'll buy you lunch at Tony's. You want to go?
No.
Margaritas?
Maybe.
All right. What's one thing about you that most people don't know?
Most people
are listening to this episode.
I mean, most people know that I'm huge into baseball.
They do know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that'll come out. That'll come through. I'm sure we'll go off track a few times and talk about the Giants and the Pods, and we're going to go. Maybe we'll podcast from a game down there. I don't know. That'd be fun. I don't know how we do it, but
how do we bring all this stuff here, down there? But
yeah, they wouldn't let me bring in a selfie stick. So I don't know if we could bring in all this.
I probably not. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't think of anything.
What don't you know about yourself?
That's right. I guess, I mean, just because I don't do it as often, but love scuba diving, love the ocean. Don't love the beach, which is weird. So maybe that's a good one. Don't love the beach, but love the ocean.
That's what I was going to say.
Any sense.
Yeah, I love the water and the scuba and the tropical beaches.
Yeah,
but hate going to the beach.
Correct.
Because in a lot of our videos, YouTube videos, where we're talking about pros and cons and different beaches, and you're like, some people are, beach is important. Some people don't care. Like we don't ever go to the beach. It's not our thing.
Yeah. Well,
but love scuba diving.
Yeah. It's not that it's like if you ask Cam or Bray to go anytime, they would say,
like,
let's go. I'm just not that big of a beach guy, unless it's in the tropics somewhere, and I can like walk into the water and see my toes for as far as I can.
What is it? The water, the sand, the heat, the parking. What's keeping you away here?
Convenience factor is definitely one of them, because when we go to Hawaii, we go to like spots where we know we can just jump in the water easy. I would prefer it to be lava rock and a nice little jump into the water rather than sand everywhere. And so maybe it's a little of everything, but convenience is definitely is the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm. Getting down there.
Mm-hmm.
Parking in Carlsbad. Good luck.
Correct.
All right. What's your favorite way to spend? So like you're perfect from waking up to going to bed. Perfect San Diego weekend. It says weekend, but let's just go like a weekend day, like Saturday.
Well, let's go full week. Let's go Saturday, Sunday.
Okay, we're doing full weekend. Do a full weekend here.
No, for me, because I mean, like we mentioned, we'll talk about sports a lot, but for me, I love having at least one day of baseball happening.
Yeah,
coaching my kids back to back. Like thinking about it this weekend, like we're getting a whole ton of rain this week, and there's already a chance that Saturday's not happening. I'm already bummed about it. But I love that Saturday. But then on the flip side, I love having a Sunday with not much going on, where maybe we jump in the pool, hang in the backyard, barbecue, put the baseball game, the Giants game on in the backyard. That's an absolute perfect weekend.
A nice like 73, 75 degree day.
Yeah. Saturday could be like 72. Sunday could be like 85 because we're going to be in the water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Keep it nice and warm.
Yep.
Baseball is Vita, right?
100%.
There's a guy that I used to go to high school with, Trent. No, he loved baseball too. He's around here somewhere. I bet he's still coaching. Trent, come on, talk a little baseball with us. By the way, are we playing softball this week, or is that going to get canceled again too?
Yeah, probably getting canceled again. It looks like a ton of rain on Sunday, so it looks like the third week this season getting canceled.
Yeah. Thursdays aren't our day for this year. We're going to have a whole season after this.
Yeah.
I mean, we already have 3 makeup weeks. Cause they'll probably cancel it tomorrow, right? Or they'll wait till
or
Thursday.
they'll wait till Thursday probably, but
Okay.
I don't think it really matters. But yeah, we're
Pretty
gonna,
much out.
Pretty much out, and I think it means we're gonna have. Well, who knows? Because San Marcos has probably canceled every game this season.
Yeah.
So who knows what happens with all the seasons? But our summer, fall, it could be overlapping for a whole season. You never know.
Double headers every week.
Every week.
Yeah. Because even that second game we played, or the first game, it was kind of drizzling a little bit.
Yeah.
San Marcos probably would have canceled that one.
1,000,000%.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll get back at it sometime. If it does rain, here's an idea. Shoot out a message to the boys. We go to Bergen for one.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. If we get canceled, that's the plan.
Yep. Sounds like a plan.
And if you guys are listening to this the day it drops, we're at Bergen. So come say what's up. All right. If you weren't in real estate, what would you be doing?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yep.
I can't think of anything right off the bat. But I mean, probably construction.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, maybe project management, some kind of something like that. Just because that was kind of the other route early in my adulthood. So yeah, I'd say probably that. Construction, something.
What'd you do before? You're doing like project management or
Like I was an assistant superintendent for a while, but also worked on the business side of my dad's company. So, but I also worked in the field, not quite swinging a hammer, but as a laborer for almost 3 years, and I absolutely loved it.
yeah.
Definitely a jack of all trades, master of absolutely zero of them, but it was a lot of fun.
There's another part to that saying. Do you know what it is?
Well, it's master of none, but
No, but there's that's not the whole saying. So I'm gonna bring it up because people get that wrong. Because I am jack of all trades. I grew up. My pops is super handy, so he's fixing stuff all the time. I could fix pretty much anything in this house. We built out our kitchen, could toilets, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really do plumbing because that's not like I don't really like messing with water.
Yeah.
And I kind of gave up electric. If I went back in the pool days, I was going to do pools and then low voltage lighting because you can't really get too hard, hurt with low voltage.
Yeah.
You're working with 12, 24 volts. Once you start getting into 120, have you got zapped by 120?
Yes, I have a couple times, but the gnarliest one, and I don't even know if it was 120, was a cow fence in Oregon. Yeah, the metal or an electric fence.
Yeah, those things hurt too.
Yeah, I don't know what voltage that is though.
Yeah, it's enough to hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
We were doing that one time. We were camping. I forget where we even were. Maybe up in Temecula. We went to somewhere called. Now I can't even. Mom, what was the name of that? Mom. I think we called it the ranch. I don't know.
Here's another ranch.
It was out in Temecula somewhere. Maybe it was the Dude Ranch. I don't know. It was either there or somewhere else. But yeah, touching it. You could even touch it with like a big blade of grass and it would go through that.
Or we were soaking wet because it was either a rainstorm or jumped in the pool or something, and it jumped. Like I didn't even touch it. And it jumped like I was just right next to it and jumped to
Gotcha.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Electricity is scary.
It's weird.
This is the We're Scared of Electricity podcast. All right. So here we go. The full quote goes, "A jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one." See?
Yeah.
Is it better to be super focused on one thing and only know that trade? Sometimes. In my job, in my life, I think it's better to be a jack of all trades, right?
Agreed.
Yeah.
And we're in a business of that for sure.
Well, yeah, we got to wear a lot of different hats. Podcaster hat, YouTuber, negotiator, CEO, marketer, salesperson, showing people houses.
I don't know if that's a hat, is it? I mean, I'll be wearing a hat, but I don't know if it's a hat.
Yeah. But yeah, I like being the jack of all trades.
Agreed.
Trying to think of if I am a master of any of them. Probably not. I guess real estate, but that's like, once again, that's all encompassing. That's a lot of things. So,
yep.
All right, here we go. The big question. What's one piece of advice you give your younger self? Little baby Cassidy. Not even baby, but
Little baby
like
Cassidy
little
Jesus in the manger.
Yeah, little Cassie's in the manger. What advice are you giving him? He's not going to remember, but now let's say early teens, late teens.
Focus on school a little more.
Yeah.
No,
Were you a bad student?
no, I just had to try really hard. It's interesting, like seeing like our kids too. Like it's just, I was never the kid that could just go to school and then do well on the tests. I had to push hard, and like even through college, it was a lot of long nights, and probably not putting myself in the best spot to take a test. Up till 4 o'clock in the morning studying.
Yeah, that's not. But I mean, if that's the way you got to get through it, right?
Yeah, and so I don't know. I think I don't know. That's a tough question.
Well, think about it.
I will, but I mean, I
We're
think
going to get an answer from you by the end of this podcast.
That's right. Yeah. No, but I think that's kind of maybe just. Oh, I guess that's my big one. But it ended up working out fine. But maybe apply to more than one college. Probably a good idea.
Where'd you end up going?
My first year I was at. It's not even around anymore, but College of Santa Fe in New Mexico. But it was literally I put all of my eggs in that one basket. Got into the college. Didn't get into the film program, which is what I wanted to do, and didn't have any other options. So I was stuck going there, and I complained about it the whole way there. And
so it was an adventure, right?
It was, yeah. And it's a place I never need to go back. It was fine. It was fine. Some people love Santa Fe, and it is pretty, but I don't ever have to go back.
And some kids love wearing sandals from San Diego over there when it snows.
Correct.
Same deal.
Or some people don't know that it snows in Santa Fe, New Mexico, like I did. So I had to go buy a snow jacket at Walmart to wear with my flip-flops.
Need shorts?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. Apply to more than one college, kids. Get in. Unless you're here. I went to Palomar. That's a great option for here. Then I went to San Diego State. Just stay here. Stay local.
Yeah.
Cal State, too. Good option. I don't know.
See, I didn't even know that was an option. We've talked about that before.
Yeah, I didn't. I think everybody growing up here did not know Cal State was a college until maybe 2015.
I think that's right. I just remember a buddy saying he was going to Cal State San Marcos, and I said, Cal State where? Like just over the hill?
Yeah, I guess when I was applying, that's what they were saying. If you are within San Diego or in North County and you're close to Cal State, and if you apply to San Diego State, they bump you back up there. There's a lie because I got into San Diego State, but that was the first time I heard about it. Not heard about it, but just kind of even thought about it. That was probably 2002, 2003, somewhere in there. It's been around since what, 89?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Late 80s. All right.
Who knew?
Nobody, not me. One thing I thought about this question. One thing that I would tell my younger self is invest the money when I was younger, because I was this close. This close. So my folks, I think they have the same guy, but anyways, they have a financial guy, right? When I was working, I worked since I was young, even like cleaning offices with my mom, just save money. I've always been a saver, always saving money. I remember I had during Halloween, I'd save candy. So I'd have like a candy box under my bed. By the time I ate it, it was like, like the sour ropes were like all hard and stuff because they were so old. Mm-hmm. But I'd always have candy, like a big old box of candy under my bed. So just started saving and then work with my pops a little bit, just some odd jobs here and there. Then worked at a restaurant. So you're getting tips all the time from a busboy to a waiter. So anyway, saved a ton of money. I didn't really spend much. So I had a good chunk of cash, like as a 15, 16-year-old. I think I had like $16,000 or something. I was like, well, yeah, that's a lot. So I went to talk to the tax guy. Not the tax guy, the financial guy. He's like, all right, here, yeah, you can put it in here. I said, I don't know. Should I put like half of it in? Ended up putting none of it in. I bought a 1967 Lincoln Continental, which was sick. I love that thing. It must have been when I was a little older then, because I'm trying to think. The timelines aren't lining up, but maybe that was a few years. Just kept saving, didn't end up investing anything. Got that car, and then put in like a $4,000 system into it. I went to It wasn't Allen Ed. Maybe it was Allen Ed's. There was one off. It wasn't Circuit City, right off of Center City Parkway in Via Vera or Valley Parkway.
Mhm.
Is that the same one? Car Country,
Yeah.
or not in Carlsbad.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's not there anymore. And I picked out all these speakers, and they had to build custom boxes and stuff for this car, and took out like a wad of cash. He's like, "Whoa, what do you do?" Thought I was like, doing some shady things. I was like, "No, dude, just whatever. Just got a lot of cash." Anyways, if I was just thinking, if I would have invested that, I'm 42 now, coming on 43. That would have been a good little investment, good little chunk of money. So I'm going to tell my younger self that. All you kids out there too, invest your money now. It'll be worth a lot later. So, anywho, all right, what else we got?
I don't know. You're the man with the plan.
Yep,
Is your list complete?
pretty much. I'm just looking at how can listeners be involved, because that's one thing that we're going to do. So, like I said, we're going to be on Insta. It'll be Livin in San Diego or Livin in San Diego podcast, something to that. I think it's just going to be Livin in San Diego in the description of our podcast, because it's not just strictly going to be the podcast. hello@livinsinsandiego.com. Hit us up. We want to hear stories, feedback, all that kind of stuff. We don't have a website or anything like that yet. We do have Livin in San Diego, but that's our real estate side if you guys need anything on that front. Give us some guest recommendations. Just think, maybe it's you. Maybe it's somebody you know. Somebody who's got a cool story. Somebody who told you a cool story, who has a good, San Diego. It doesn't necessarily even have to live in San Diego, but maybe they're visiting San Diego. They've been in San Diego. They built a business in San Diego, whatever it might be. So we're going to try to get some interesting folks on here in these next few weeks, or in these next few months. The first few are just going to be me and Cassidy, as we're trying to figure out all of our equipment, make sure everything's working.
Yep.
Mic check. Make sure we get our intro music dialed in. It's going to be super important.
And that I don't push the 3 button because it goes black. And I've
Does
done
it?
it twice during this. So
How long was it on black?
No, just like split seconds. But apologize ahead of time. And I now have to talk and think, which I'm not used to doing.
Yeah,
So,
at some point you'll be able to just go
just both. Yeah.
boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom. Because those are the only ones. Once we get the audio set up, it's pretty dialed in. It's just a matter of making sure who's on which camera, etc. So, anyways, welcome to episode 1/224 of the Livin in San Diego podcast. We love you guys. Tune in every week, every Thursday, coming to you live right here on Spotify, YouTube, Apple, all of them. So share it with a friend, and we'll catch you guys next week. Adios. Peace.